Hello there, beautiful soul. Shauna Gulbrand here, Luminary Life Coach for Women of the Awakened Collective. I want to talk again today about the idea of using your voice to express who you really are. If you are a woman on a journey to live a more authentic life, a journey to higher consciousness and to be more of who you really are, speaking your truths, advocating for yourself, and expressing your wants, needs, and desires are an important step on your journey. Fear is what drives a woman into silence or compels a woman to communicate in an aggressive way that is hurtful to others. In my experience, one of those fears is change. She knows that if she starts to use her voice, things will change, relationships will change. She also knows that she herself has to change if she is to soften her approach in expressing herself. In relationships where truths are being hidden or suppressed, the moment a woman utters the words of her truth, it changes the molecules in the relationship for the other person and for herself. It changes the direction of the relationship. It changes the boundaries of the relationship. It changes what she may have associated as safety or a trust that she created in the relationship. Now let's face it, most people don't like change. And change is just one of the many fears that a woman can carry around using her voice or softening her voice. Fears and thousands of years of suppression of women, but that's another recording, that's another video, another story. A woman must become more comfortable in advocating for herself and communicating her needs. The question is, how do you feel about your relationships changing as you become more comfortable with speaking your truth? It comes to a point in which the journey to be her true self becomes priority over the fears she experiences when she begins a practice of exercising her voice. She begins to understand the need to embrace uncertainty and trust that no matter what changes unfold, they will be for her highest good and for the highest good of all concerned. The relationship with herself deepens with every opportunity to stand in her integrity, speak her truth, and reclaim her sovereignty. As a coach, I love to ask questions, and I have some questions that I would like to pose to you in just a moment. I want to share with you first that my journey up into this point has really been about learning how to soften my approach. I've written about this before, I've talked about this before, that my way of communicating is through manipulation, it's through aggressiveness, it's through my need to control other people in my environment. And I'm in the process of healing from that. I've also learned how to check in with myself and to understand and know my truth in any given situation, and then continue with my practice of expressing it. And this morning I had the perfect opportunity to do that. I was in conversation with a friend of mine, and we were talking about something that we are doing together, and she brought to my attention something that needed to happen, not needed to happen, but was a situation that I would have to interact with. And when I brought what she was saying to me into my body and I checked in, I realized that wasn't going to work for me. That was not going to be my preference. And I, in that moment, was able to speak my truth to her about that and let her know in a very loving and compassionate way that's not going to work for me. This would be my preference. Sure, for a moment or two, I felt the twinges of, I don't want to upset her, but I've been in this practice for so long that I recognize it and then it goes away very quickly. So I just wanted to share that. Trust me when I tell you that it becomes easier to be true to yourself each and every time you speak up and advocate for yourself. Now, here are some questions I have for you. Which relationships in your life are you listening to the inner narrative that tells you to hold back, step back, stop, rein it in, be quiet, don't say anything, keep it safe, keep it consistent? Which relationships can you identify with that? Which relationships in your life are you listening to the inner narrative that tells you to be aggressive, to fight, to control, to be rigid and manipulate others for what you need? Be honest with yourself about that. What relationships do you not want to change? And you might want to throw in a why there. Why do you not want them to change? Maybe you're jotting these down. You can always pause and jot these questions down in your journal. Do you bargain with yourself in situations in which you know you need to change, but you continuously postpone taking action? What situations are these? And what are your reasons for not wanting to act? What are you afraid of? What's the worst thing that could happen if you started to take action? If you began to speak your truth? Understanding your fears will help you overcome them, transform them, shift them, change them, release them to beliefs that are more supportive and empowering of you being more of your core essential self. Which relationships in your life offer support in your willingness to change? Who do you surround yourself with that support your healing journey and your willingness to change? And these are my last two questions I have for you. How willing are you to speak your truth honestly and directly in a loving and compassionate way? And how willing are you to knowingly, lovingly, and boldly speak the truth of who you really are? Please, ladies, notice yourself. Notice yourself to know yourself. Practice conscious awareness. Conscious awareness is a way for you to renew your belief systems, embrace change, disempower the unfavorable voices that interfere with your life choices and behaviors, and speak the truth of who you really are. In peace, and in light, and in love. Aveo.